I saw a piece a couple of weeks ago about why a border wall could mean trouble for wildlife. Now, Trump doesn't give a shit about animals. They're just things to eat after they've been ground up into patties, or for his fucked up sons to go kill. That's animals. He doesn't give a shit about other people. He doesn't care about using the so-called right of eminent domain to take people's land to build his fucking fence. He doesn't care about any national wildlife refuges that will be in the way of his psychotic projection of this fence. He doesn't care about any of that shit. He has no understanding or empathy about anything other than his immediate, just like a baby, his immediate demand. Gratify my immediate demand. Give me a nipple. Clean my ass because I just shit my diaper. Pick me up because I have colic. That's it. Now, the truth is, whatever the wall's effect on immigration might be, it's going to have an impact on the environment in the borderlands, Mexico, northern Mexico, southern border of the U.S. And as the Times reported, about 650 miles of border wall already exist along this 2,000-mile boundary between the two countries. Most of that border wall that already exists has been built on federal land when the natural terrain provides no natural barrier. You know, there's no canyon, there's no river. Now, Trump is calling for a 1,000-mile wall. Jesus Christ. I mean, this is like the Great Wall of China, right? 1,000 fucking mile of wall? I mean, just the thought of it is insane. But Trump's psychotic 1,000-mile wall would extend across land that includes important habitats for wildlife, which right-wingers, Christians, Trump, they don't give a fuck. They don't care. You ask the next Christian you come in contact with, and just say, hey, you realize we're in the sixth extinction? We are losing species at a rate unprecedented since the appearance of human beings. The entire species are dying off. The Christian or the neo-fascist right-wing politician will look at you and either laugh or tell you you're full of shit, because Jesus, bless his heart, would never allow that to happen. And if you are reading scientific journals to the contrary, it's bullshit. God takes care of even the smallest sparrow. A Customs and Border Protection policy says that agency, quote, will integrate environmental stewardship and sustainability practices into operations and activities regarding the wall. Now, is there a more bullshit statement than that one? Huh? We will integrate environmental stewardship. When the fuck has any right-wing agency of government in this country, especially in the age of Trump, ever given a second thought to environmental stewardship? Oh, please. So when I see those two words, environmental stewardship, in a press bulletin, a press release, from an agency like Customs and Border Protection, when I see the words environmental stewardship, I just want to throw up. However, even though they say that, Congress now, the right-wingers, this fascist Congress, remember, it's only since since January that the Democrats are beginning to have an effect. But for the 2 years of Trump running two branches of government, because the Republicans in Congress were a bunch of fucking cowards, Congress in those 2 years gave the Customs and Border Protection Agency the power to dismiss environmental protections like the Endangered Species Act. Congress gave Customs and Border Protection the right to say, no, we're not going to pay attention to that for a while, if ever. Now, the laws that are being waived by these fascist right-wing Christians in Congress are laws that required the government to produce an in-depth environmental impact analysis of any new project. Building a dam, building a bridge, building a railway, building a wall. And the rule, up until the Congress, the Republicans changed it, also said there had to be something included in the report, in the analysis, that would show how it might be possible to develop a less damaging alternative and how to perform environmental monitoring after construction. All of that's been removed. Trump and the Republicans don't care a bit about wildlife or recreation areas or clean air, clean water, decent land. They don't care. I don't know why. Sometimes I think it's because these fuckers are just not fully human. Now, when this article first appeared, a spokesman for Customs and Border Protection was unavailable because of the shutdown. Now, an article published last year in the journal Bioscience. Uh-oh! It's got the word science in it. Uh-oh, watch out. Fake, fake. Is it in the Bible? An article published last year in the journal Bioscience, which has been signed by more than 2,900 scientists. 2,900 scientists signed this article. And it said that Trump's plan would, quote, threaten some of this continent's most biologically diverse regions. So what? By blocking free movement of many species and contributing to flooding. More than 1,500 native animal and plant species would be affected by the wall, the paper said, including 62 species listed as endangered or vulnerable. Now talk about flooding. A wall, as Trump's fevered, fucked up brain imagines it, would totally interfere or redirect drainage after one of these now more frequent deluges that are called thunderstorms that have been increased, the volume of water increased exponentially because of global warming. So imagine, if you will, a farm or a ranch that sits right next to Trump's wall after it's constructed. And one of these flooding weather events, as they call them on the Weather Channel, occurs, and tons of rain come falling down, but now there's no place for it to run into, let's say, the Rio Grande. So the water that falls on American soil, that would be American rain, where's it going to go? Where's it going to go? Well, it just might flood into the farmer's land, the farmer that owns the land up to very close to the wall, and destroy his crops, drown his livestock, flood his house. Nah, never happen. Never happen. Anyway, let me share with you some of the possible effects that an extended border wall could have on wildlife. First of all, animals would be cut off from everything. I mean, you can't put up a barrier like this and expect animals to go, oh, there's a wall. Well, let's go over there through the door. An extended border wall would impede the movement of many species and would put creatures already under pressure in peril. Aaron Flesch, a research scientist, University of Arizona, said he had no doubt that endlessly inventive humans will be able to scale a wall. But it would block many four-legged creatures, the scientist said, who have had endless time to pass freely back and forth over the area that this sick fuck in the White House now wants to build a wall. This is crazy. Why are we talking about this? Even some low-flying birds like Ferruginous pygmy owl. The Ferruginous pygmy owl. How's that for a name? I have no idea. Could have trouble. Dr. Flesch said, you think a bird's just going to fly over a wall, but that's not necessarily the case. Animals tend, or they need, to be able to move around. It's part of being an animal. To find food, to find water, to find a mate, among other things. An outbreak of fire or disease or the pressures of climate change can force them to seek new homes. And the pockets of landscape that suit them, that meet the needs that these species have, can be widely dispersed. So, certain species wakes up one morning, maybe it's a little four-footed, furry little mammal that's very cute when it's little, but when it gets to full size, about the size of a house cat, would jump on your face and devour your fucking eyes if you're not careful. But this cute little creature all of a sudden wakes up one morning and says to his nest mates, uh-oh, we're in trouble. Why? What's up? Oh, man, we got to get out of here. There's flooding coming. How do you know? Well, I know because I'm an animal. It's coming. Okay, so they try to run, and there's the wall. And here comes the flood. And there goes the little furry creature. Drown. Oh, fuck that, Malloy. Come on. After an outcry from environmentalists and local officials, Congress last year, Congress voted to protect one environmental jewel where Trump wants to destroy everything. It's the Santa Ana National Wildlife Refuge. It's a 2,100-acre, described by environmentalists as an ecological crossroads for migratory birds near McAllen, Texas. And the way Congress protected it, they refused to appropriate money that would build the wall through it. So the Republican members of Congress, and remember this is last year, so they had the House and the Senate and the presidency, they can respond to this sick son of a bitch who is the President of the United States when they want to. Probably all the ones who voted not to fund or to protect that environmental jewel, as it's described, they're probably terrified now that Trump is going to primary them. Son of a bitch. And it says here, the richness of the environment along many stretches of the border. Because of that, the area draws tourists for hunting and fishing, and to an even greater extent, ecotourism, where people show up who don't necessarily want to kill animals, but want to just watch and observe, take photographs, leave nothing but footprints, take nothing but pictures. That's the way it should be. And the bird watchers, or as they are referred to, birders, I have a hard time with that word. Are you a birder? I am. Birders have spotted more than 500 species. God, is that unusual. In the 4 counties that make up the lower Rio Grande Valley, 500 different species of birds. And a study from Texas A&M University estimated that bird watching and other forms of environmental tourism brought more than $344 million in economic activity to the area and some 4,400 jobs. And that is a part of Trump's psychotic fever dream that is going to be destroyed. Now, some of the scientists who are authors of an article from which I just quoted, the article appeared in Bioscience, including Dr. Flesch, said the government should protect what they called the cultural value of the borderlands. They wrote, quote, national security can and must be pursued with an approach that preserves our natural heritage. And of course, the overarching irony to all of this that's never talked about, the land that we're talking about used to be called Mexico until we took it. The entire area, the southwestern United States, Mexico. And now the people whose land it originally was are being told, you can't come over, we're putting a fucking wall.